Let's put our focus on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Now, this exchange has cemented its position as a key pillar in the region's economy. The organization recently marked the first year since the self-listing, along with a host of other important changes. Now, the boss came with those changes, a new chief executive, Geoffrey Odundo, who joins me now on the closing bell. Good afternoon, sir, and welcome to the closing bell.
Good afternoon.
We haven't had you on our air in forever. It's the first time again.
Yes, it's the first time.
Great. First, congratulations.
Thank you.
Making CEO. A lot of positive things have been reported regarding the NSE in the last year.
Yes.
And going into this year, we saw the self-listing, we saw introduction of GEMS.
Yeah.
Recently, we saw your numbers going up by just about 16%. Walk us through 2014 at the exchange.
Well, 2014?
Yes.
2014 was a phenomenal year for us. As you know, the exchange, since its formation in 1954, has been a mutual company, right, where it was owned by members. But last year, we successfully demutualized, and now it's a company limited by shares.
Right.
And that, in addition, brought us the opportunity to tap into the market and to raise additional capital. So we successfully raised 667 million
right,
in an IPO that was phenomenally performed extremely well, because we did 6 times what we wanted.
Right.
And now we've also increased the number of shareholders to 15,000. So we are a public company. Our share price has appreciated extremely well. It's now close to 100% on listing price. So we for 2014 was a real setup stage for us, and it's given us now a firm foundation to
right,
to grow the market into the future.
This was obviously backed by very strong participation from the regulator, the Capital Markets Authority.
Yes.
But let's talk about the value to the investors. What has been the value to investors if we compare to, say, the past 10 years?
I think now we have a more open trading environment. As you know, we've had historical perception issues, especially when we were a member-based organization.
Right.
So investors, it enhances the confidence of the investors in the market,
right,
in that the company is now publicly listed, its operations are open to more scrutiny, there's a firm regulatory oversight on even the listed companies and trading participants.
right.
So this we project has enhanced our turnover, because investors are now more certain that the investments are secure, and the environment is open and transparent. So that has heralded quite a phenomenal change for us.
Right.
The second thing is that the company itself is now a quoted company. So their level of participation has increased. We are seeing good turnovers in the market on a daily basis, and just informs you why the price has behaved that way.
Right.
So it has deepened shareholders' interest, it has deepened shareholders' value, and really, we think the market is now very, very open and transparent. Right.
There has been conversations about financial inclusivity and just roping everyone in, and then we saw this with the establishment of the GEMS market just about a year ago. In regards to playing its role as a source of credit for existing entrepreneurs, how has that been?
The exchange does provide quite a cost-effective avenue for capital raise. As you know, equity capital is almost at zero cost, yes, save for the dividends that you pay. So for entrepreneurs, it's an avenue they can tap into and be able to raise capital that they can use to expand their businesses. We've had that very successfully on the main listings, and last year alone you saw we did quite a number of bond listings as well, and rights issues. And companies are now diversifying their capital sources. So it does provide that real desirable avenue for them.
Right.
In terms of financial inclusion, and I like the question you asked me, what is missing at the moment is penetration. We currently have about 2 million CDS account holders, yet on average we have about just 30,000 accounts trading on a monthly basis. The inhibition has been ability to access market, and that's why we are thinking of working with the telecom companies to offer mobile trading,
right,
such that there is direct access to market.
So in essence, taking it to where the people...
Precisely.
Yes.
I mean, with our current mobile services penetration, really, with that level of access, we should be able to grow the number of interested investors
Right.
who can trade. Of course, they'll still have to go through the trading participants, but
Yes.
that ability to reach them that far is great.
Right.
The other thing we're thinking is how then can we also make other instruments access easier? For instance, treasury bonds. We're discussing government to lower thresholds so that entry level is lower.
Yes, because that has been a big concern to many. This has sounded like it's a tool for the people up there. And the rest of us are just supposed to say, yes, there's that option for you to invest, but we really can't.
Absolutely.
Right.
So that's why we're working closely with the issuers to see how we can make the access entry levels more accessible.
Right.
Yeah. So. Yeah, precisely. So that's really what's transformed the market.
So how big a challenge is awareness? Because about 4, 5, 6 years ago, we had a lot of campaign trying to get young people to invest in the exchange. And that was the advent of IPOs, and we had regular IPOs.
Yes,
and we'll get to that question. but how big a challenge do you see awareness being in terms of including and dropping in more people?
Awareness is still, we're still a long way to go. In terms of public education and just people awareness in the market. And what as NSE we are doing, we are running a number of campaigns to enhance awareness. One of the most phenomenal for one is what we call the NSE Investment Challenge,
right.
Where we actually do go to tertiary institutions, give these students virtual money, they trade on the money, and basically it's like a competition. The best performers are rewarded with some rewards. Over and above that, yes. They also get opportunity to work for some of our trading participants on an intern basis, and even some have been taken on a full-time basis. Right. So we are rolling that out. We have a very robust county strategy, how we can be able to educate the public on the value of the exchange. And these will be part of our plans because it's a key pillar. It's a key pillar for us. And working closely with our regulator, the Capital Markets Authority, we do participate in a number of public forums and trade fairs to just enhance and educate people on what they can tap into the market. Let's
talk about the trends we're seeing in this market. We saw some sort of a drought in regards to IPO because Kenyans trading on the exchange was synonymous to IPOs. Then we saw a bit of a drag, and then finally we saw the introduction of the NSE, got a bit more people in the market.
Yeah.
Talk to us about these trends and what they speak about this market.
You're quite right. Yeah, we had a phenomenal time up to 2008 when we had the Safaricom IPO, which had its challenges and caused a bit of anxiety among investors and wariness. I happen to have been also part of the team that did the Cooperative Bank IPO within the same year.
Yes.
And of course, we did experience quite some challenges, though we successfully raised 80% of it. So there has been, I would call it two key concerns. One, the issuers. The issuers have not been coming on stream extremely fast, especially the government companies who for a long time were listing part of their shareholding to the public. So that has been a bit of it's been slowed down a bit. But we are working closely with the Privatization Commission to see how we can create that. On the corporate side, I think the shyness of the market has been the fear of raising the money, successfully raising the money. Because after the Safaricom debacle and the core bank, we raised 80%. People have been fearful, and then there was a global financial crisis.
But so I think that is changing now because looking just last week, Safaricom was doing exceptionally well. Market capitalizations, I think history, it hit history, 700, you know, we've not seen this in the history of corporate Kenya.
Precisely. And that's why I'm confident that into the future, in the next 1 year or so, we'll see listings coming through. In fact, there are a couple who are already working on their submission documents, and we think they'll come through. The more exciting space for us will be the GEMS market. Last year we did about 3 new listings, and we think there'll be more coming through this year. So we're trying to engage very effectively with the nominated advisors and the potential issuers.
Is disclosure a challenge here? Do we see these small entrepreneurs sort of, because most of these are family business and small-time businesses, how do they transit into disclosure?
That has been a challenge. I mean, you now have to come under certain regulations and open your books a bit more. But the point that we're telling them is that listing does provide you with it enhances your value,
Yes.
so to speak. And that enables you even to raise cheap money. The companies that have been able to list have been able to come to market, have been able to subsequently tap into funds and raise capital. So the value, it's a balance you have to strike. Right. Opening yourself to more scrutiny. At the same time, it will give you opportunity to basically discover price discovery of the shares, and subsequently believe.
So you have to give up something to get there.
It has to be a balance, really.
Our time is running out, so I want us to talk about the future. Yeah. And recently, I know you had exciting news about electronically connecting the Rwandan exchange and the Nairobi one. Let's talk about the role the NSE exchange plays in the region and what opportunities are there going forward. Okay.
As you know, we are the leading exchange in the region, so we are the big brother of sorts for the East African side. One of the things we're doing is that we are collaborating very closely with our brothers in Rwanda, Tanzania, and Uganda, both in terms of technical support, in terms of exchange of information, bringing in their staff for really experiential training. Right. We're also supporting a lot of cross listings that are being done by some of our listed companies within the region. We are currently in discussions about having some interconnectivity through the East African Community Secretariat, just to provide a wide pool for investors to access market within the region. So we are doing a lot.
The future is bright.
Oh, extremely bright.
It's not an oncoming train.
It's not an oncoming train.
We have to leave it there, sir, but many thanks for coming, and we should see you on our air more often.
Thank you.
That has been Geoffrey Odundo, who's the Chief Executive Officer at the NSE